I had a great aspiration to become a pilot in the service, but the war was partly over and they declined my request to join pilots. In any case, I solved that problem after the war. I got a private pilot's license immediately. I was discharged. My education came by leaps and bounds, and I was in many different positions, but one of the things, they liked the fact that I had a German name, and they said I looked a little like a German, so I was sent to Montgelé in the Quebec mountains, what they called intelligence, which was a fancy name for a spy. My family was German. We never spoke German at home, so I didn't know a word of German. And when we arrived at this institution in Quebec, the driver of the lorry that brought us there stopped through the gate and opened the door and said, "You've just spoken your last words of English. Here's a book." And they were pretty serious about that. I learned quite a few things. I learned to speak German quite well, and I still speak it. They taught me some things that weren't quite that nice. But anyway, I was big and strong, and I managed pretty well in that.
I was in the Pay Corps, and I was stationed next to Harrods. And I worked for the major, and he'd been in the Boer War, and he didn't approve of women in the army. But after a while, he approved of me, and then I went and married a Canadian, and he didn't approve of that. I'm a war bride. Most of the war brides were happy.
Yeah.
The Canadians were nice. They came to our village in 1940, early 1940. And I would say that by the end of 1942, they'd married half the girls in the village. We never had any problems. That's, of course, because I was such a good wife.
Yes.
No, he was a good husband.
I was living in Victoria by the time they started to build this place, so I saw its beginning, and I see where it is now, and I have some thoughts about what they should be thinking about in the future. But the Veterans Affairs phoned me one time 70 years after I hadn't been anywhere near them, never heard of them. So anyway, I asked them, how come after all these years I'm getting all this attention? They've done a survey and to see what the veterans of the Second World War, what condition they're in, and they found that the veterans at that time, and this is probably 10 years ago, were dying at the rate of 400 a week. And they said, to use their words, we thought we better start looking after them. And they did very well indeed. I think it's very essential, and the fact that we've got 2 or 3 more wars where the veterans are just coming away from, I think this type of facility that has veterans and civilians as well, I think that's not quite as good as it's probably going to have to be in the future.
And I was too bewildered, to tell you the truth, to know what I was doing when I first came here. But once you're here, you are very well looked after. Well, this is a smashing place. The staff here are fantastic. They always come and ask me if I've taken my medicine. And then they ask me if I'm feeling well. And And then, have I got any problems? And one day I'm going to make something up because I feel I disappoint them by not having problems. Absolutely, I think they sometimes wish I shut up. I'm very happy here. There are a lot of veterans here. I enjoy that they don't push you, but they try to find out what, like they said to me, do you play bridge? And I do. So they found 3 bridge players for me. And without you realizing how they're questioning you, they're very clever in the way they ask you questions. It's just as if we're just having a little social chat, but really they're trying to find out if you're happy. I realized that after I'd been here a little while, and I said, you needn't ask me those questions anymore, I'm perfectly happy.